Welcome to Panther Sports Zone. I'm Josh Crawford.
And I'm Drew Brewer.
Drew, what we got going today, man?
Well, the Prairie A&M basketball team took a 64-51 road win over Florida A&M to go 2-0 against the Swac opponents during their road trip in the Sunshine State. The Panthers opened up a big game with a 22-5 lead to end the first quarter. Another efficient quarter led to a 23-point advantage to the half. The Lady Rattlers wouldn't go down that easily, managing to get within 11 points late in the fourth. It didn't matter, though. Kennedy Paul iced the game for a charity strike, adding another check-in for the win column for the Panthers. Diana Rosenthal led the way for the PV with a game of 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals in the contest. Paul contributed 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Panthers. With this win, the women's basketball team have won 4 of their past 6 games against the Swac opponents. What do you think of this hot streak that has been going on so far, Josh?
Deserved. First of all, the Lady Panthers, they work very hard in terms of, personally noting it, practicing game-wise. They have a very unique roster in terms of their makeup. You talked about Kennedy Paul. She's a, post player. Diana Rosenthal, she's probably, from what I've observed, only their true, dominant guard. And the way that basketball is going, you're looking more towards pace and space. But, with the Lady Panthers, obviously, they're looking to dominate the paint. And I think a lot of teams are, confused by that. They don't game plan for that. And I think that's kind of what's been contributing to their recent, win streak.
We hope that win streak continues to keep on going. What else we got going on, Josh?
Man, the Prairie A&M men's basketball team dropped a heartbreaking 61-60 loss to Florida A&M Monday night at the Lawson Center. After holding the Rattlers to just 17 points in the first half, FAMU managed to even things up 44-44 with 7 minutes and 9 seconds left in the game. Up by 2 in the final seconds, FAMU's Dominguez Stevens called game with a last-second 3 to put away the Panthers. Marquedrick Bell led the Panthers with 13 points. He also had 7 rebounds. Jeremiah Gamble was the only other player in double figures with 10 points, adding 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 1 steal to his numbers. Dwayne Cox, Will Douglas, and D-Rail Roberts each had 9 points apiece. PV will return to the hardwood when they play host to Southern University on Saturday, February 12th, for a 5:30 start time at the William J. Nix building, aka the Baby Dome. Currently, the men's team holds a 4-15 overall record and a 4-7 record in the Swac. How do you feel about the current track that the basketball team's on, Drew?
Well, the season's still kind of early. It's kind of a hard season to go for so far with only 4 wins, 4 within the Swac and then 4 with an overall record. But with it being such a tough season, it's time for the Panthers to get it together. I know we've had a couple of losses, to Southern as well, TSU, and that could have been a really hard, devastating loss because that's our rival. But I think that the men just need to get it together and just really stack up on really understanding, this is a long season. We're going to have some games that we're going to not get, and there's going to be games that we do get. But as long as we come together and everything is all right, I think that they will do really well.
I ain't gonna lie, brother. I'm a little bit more pessimistic than you. You feel what I'm saying? Coach Smith, he's been here 7 years at PV. Coach Byron Smith, we talked to him during the National Signing Day special.
Right.
They're currently, like I said, they're currently 4-7 in the Swac right now. With 7 conference, a little over half of the conference schedule being played. He's at risk of going, sub 500 in the Swac for only his second time here. So for me, that's obviously a point of worry. Also, you talk about the previous game, Marquedrick Bell, being the leading scorer for the Panthers. No disrespect to him or Jeremiah Gamble, but I think that we all know this team starts and ends with Jawon Daniels. So, I think Jawon needs to be a little more consistent in terms of, his output. I know he's averaging more than 9 points a game. And, if we're going to, compete and get to the NCAA tournament and, achieve what I think they're wanting to achieve, Jawon has to be throwing up 15, 17, points a night. And also, Will Douglas, man, you know where I'm from. You ain't got to say, where I'm from. And he's somebody, like you said, coming from a Power 5 school in SMU, he has to be a little bit more consistent, too. Coach Smith sat on that couch right over there and called him probably the most, versatile guy in the Swac. And 9 points not going to get it done. So, I need Jawon to step it up and be more consistent. He has had, explosive games in this season so far. He had a 30 piece, you feel me, early in the season.
Right.
And Will has also gotten off too. But, similar to, a team that I also like in the Memphis Tigers, they need to be able to do that consistently, night in and night out, if they really want to get to where they want to get to in the Swac.
Right. For the 3rd time in his career, HBCU All-Star has been named Jawon Daniels as the NCAA Division I Swac Player of the Week. Playing in one game from January 31st to February 6th, Daniels posted 20 points, shooting an efficient 6-13 from the field and 60% from three. The Swac preseason player of the year also grabbed 3 rebounds in addition to a block and a steal in that game. The next game for Daniels and the Panthers takes place tomorrow, February 12th, at the Williams B. Nick Stadium against Southern University. Tip-off begins at 5:30. 2 Prairie View A&M Panthers were named at the 22 baseball preseason all Swac teams announced Tuesday by the league's office. Graduate student Damari Smith was tabbed as a second-team outfielder, while sophomore Victor Mendoza received second-team nods as a pitcher. Smith finished the 2021 season as one of the team's best batters, hitting a .314 with his 27 hits and 13 runs scored. He drove in 16 RBIs while posting a 9.56 field percentage in the outfield. Mendoza struck out 33 batters in 6 appearances, earning a 3-0 record. The Panthers will open their season in the MLB Andre Dawson Classic February 18th through the 20th when they face Florida A&M for a 2 p.m. start. The 2022 Prairie View A&M softball team opens up their campaign at the WI Invitational hosted by the University of Incarnate World Cardinals at the HEB Field in San Antonio, Texas, February 11th and 13th. The Lady Panthers play against Cleveland State University today, followed up with matchups against Green Bay, Incarnate World, and Cleveland State tomorrow and Sunday. The team finished this 2021 season with a 16-16 record before falling to Jackson State in the Swac softball tournament elimination game. The Panthers returned 21 players from last year's squad and bring in 8 newcomers to the roster. PV goalkeeper Quinn Joshua received some good news yesterday, being called up to the national team of St. Kitts and Nevis for 2021 CONCACAF qualifiers. The small Caribbean nation will compete in a Group B alongside Guatemala, Costa Rica, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Curaçao, all for the chance to appear in the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. In 4 years playing for the Lady Panthers, Quinn has 245 career saves, starting in all 53 games she played. Congrats on the achievement, and good luck, Quinn. When we come back, we'll talk all about Swac news and weekly honors, as well as discuss upcoming against Swac opponents, Southern University versus PV men and women's basketball. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right after the break.
If you want to be the best,
HBCU bands are the celebrities of the band world.
We the most vicious things on the block.
sacrifice everything
If at the end of the routine you're not sweating, tired, out of breath, you're not doing it right.
and go full out.
The band is ranked number 8.
You gonna rank us number 8? We take things personally, bro.
You all are living up to the tradition.
It's going to be a show to see.
March. Limited series premieres Monday, January 24th. Free next day, only on the CW app.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Zone. This week, the Southwestern Athletic Conference tabbed Jackson State's Terence Lewis II and Alabama State's Ncaa for the Swac Men's Basketball Weekly Honors. Lewis had a spectacular weekend for Jackson State as he averaged 21 points per game, along with 11 rebounds per game, and throwing in 1 steal. The Swac Player of the Week tallied a double-double with a game-high 28 points, along with 10 rebounds on Saturday during JSU's 69-65 win over Mississippi Valley State. He followed that performance up with another double-double performance as he contributed 14 points along with 12 rebounds during Jackson State's 60-47 win over Arkansas Pine Bluff. The Impact Player of the Week, Ncaa, helped Alabama State split on the road against Grambling State and Southern, averaging 20 points per game in the 2 contests. He scored a career-high 25 points against Grambling State on the road while shooting 7 of 8 from the floor and 4 of 5 from beyond the arc, and also a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Randall followed that up with a 15-point performance against Southern as he connected on 4 of 7 attempts from the floor, including 3 three-pointers.
Continuing with the basketball, the Swac also named Grambling State Alexis Holt and Arkansas Pine Bluff Zay Green as the Player of the Week and Impact Player of the Week for their outstanding performances this past week. Holt had back-to-back high-scoring performances this past week competition as she averaged 27.5 points per game. Against Alabama State, Hope scored 28 points with a tally of 8 rebounds, adding 4 assists and 2 steals. She scored 27 points to go along with the rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals during GCSU's contest versus Alabama A&M. Green had a triple-double and double-double performance during UAB's league matchup this past week. Against Alcorn State, she scored 26 points while collecting 10 rebounds along with 10 assists and 3 steals. Green scored 19 points while collecting 11 rebounds to go along with 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals during UAB's outputting against Jackson State. This Saturday, the women's men's basketball team face off against one of the top teams in Swac, Southern University. What are some of the key things that you think for both of these teams have an opportunity to get on a dub for this court, Josh?
Like I stated earlier, I think that, honestly, in the position that Coach Smith and the men's Panthers are in, this is kind of a must-win game for them. Southern is not a traditional basketball power. They're usually better at football than basketball. Louisiana is not known traditionally as a basketball state. So I think they need to have a good showing. They need to be able to, like I mentioned earlier, Jawon and Will need to get out to better starts. And they need to, solidify the defensive identity that Coach Smith has been known for since he's been here. Talk about, like I talked on the couch during the signing day special. They got Dwayne Cox this year. He's been a multi-year guy, multi-year starter for them. Guys like Dennis Jones and things like that. They need to kind of gel in and hone in on the defensive intensity. And as an athlete yourself, once you do the dirty work, once you get the hard part of the way, talking about the defensive end of the floor, they got the offense will come to them. Like I said, Jawon, Will, Marquedrick, they got guys that can put the ball in the basket. They're obviously D1 basketball players for a reason, but they really got to hone in on that defensive side of the ball. And like I said, to get to where they want to get to in the SWAC and ultimately the NCAA tournament. What do you think, Drew?
Right. just like my coaches used to say when I used to play, defense wins games. Offense always comes later, but yeah, you got to stop the man from scoring at the end some point. So, as long as their defense is able to come in together and we can get everything together, I feel that it should be a perfect announcement for not only just PV, just to let them know, hey, get your offense will come, but you got to get the defense. We can't keep having guys and girls scoring on us, making all these big points, and especially for the men's basketball team and the recent losses they've been having, I think they're so worried about offense that's going to the point that they're forgetting about the defense. So as long as they can remember that defense wins games, I think we'll have a really good team.
That's a very interesting perspective, Drew. On the women's side, it's just we talked about it a little bit off camera. It's simply, as simple as it sounds. It talks about it comes down to them making their shots. Against Southern last time, obviously it was a bit of a blowout with Southern winning 89-52. But let me throw this off you, Drew. The Lady Panthers are currently #1 in the SWAC in three-point percentage. But yet against that last game against Southern, they went 0 for 10 from the three-point line, not making a single three the whole game. And vice versa, Southern, who is currently last in the SWAC in three-point percentage, went 13 for 28, which is also very high. That's obviously a good percentage. That's a lot of attempts as well.
Right.
So it seemed to be sports is sports. Sports are gonna sport. Seemed to be Southern was a little bit on a hot streak today. So I anticipate them not being able to shoot that well on Saturday against us. But we do need our ladies to step it up a little bit from the three-point line. You talk about Diana Rosenthal, like I mentioned earlier. She's the only true lead guard I see on this women's team. So you need somebody like a Kennedy Paul to maybe extend her range a little bit, or if we all know as athletes, we know about rhythm. If they're not going to be able to hit, live up to that #1 ranking in the three-point percentage, working inside. They got bigs. They got a 6'4" girl right now. So I'm saying, they make your shots, whether they're from the three-point line, the pinch post, the low post, or from mid-range. You got to make your shots because 52 points in a SWAC, a D1 women's game is not going to get you a dub nowhere.
And that's true. But, I will say is sometimes you do have off games. This might have been just an off game for the Lady Panthers.
Facts.
We give them that, just from some things, like we said, sports, anything can happen in sports. So I wouldn't write them off just yet from coming from three-point. I think they just need a little bit more time to get in the gear, take a couple more shots at practice and just to get in the flow of things, just to get back on that term. So for the next game this Saturday, I think everything will work out.
I mean, it's a fact. Nobody thinks that Southern 38 points better than us.
No. Coming up next, our own Caleb Carter sat down with Coach Bland for National Signing Day. Hear what he has to say coming after the break.
Monday, January 24th. If you want to be the best,
HBCU bands are the celebrities of the damn world.
We the most vicious things on the block.
sacrifice everything
If at the end of the routine you're not sweating, tired, out of breath, you're not doing it right.
and go full out.
The band is ranked number 8.
You gonna rank us number 8? We take things personally, bro.
You all are living up to the tradition.
It's going to be a show to see.
March. Limited series premieres Monday, January 24th. Free next day, only on the CW app. Monday, January 24th. If you want to be the best,
HBCU bands are the celebrities of the damn world.
We the most vicious things on the block.
sacrifice everything
If at the end of the routine you're not sweating, tired, out of breath, you're not doing it right.
and go full out.
The band is ranked number 8.
You gonna rank us number 8? We take things personally, bro.
You all are living up to the tradition.
It's going to be a show to see.
March. Limited series premieres Monday, January 24th. Free next day, only on the CW app.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Zone. National Signing Day was an amazing success for PV's athletic program and coaches alike. Let's hear from Caleb Carter as he sat down with softball head coach Vernon Bland. Caleb, take it away.
Yeah, well, I sat down with Coach Vernon Bland for National Signing Day, and it was an amazing experience. Two things that he drove home to me was, one, that he recruited for versatility, and two, that in softball they don't have a national sports league like the
Professional
NFL.
sports
There you go, like the NFL, like the NBA, like the MLB. So one thing he stressed to me was that he makes sure that the players graduate, and that was good to hear. So he told me that they had three recruits coming in. All of them play more than one position, so that's a good sign for the softball team. They just got started today. They sadly they lost to the Cleveland State University, 5-13. But I know with Coach Bland and what he's got going over there, I know he's getting ready to bounce back over there at the tournament.
You know, and like you mentioned, Caleb, you're talking about the versatility that Coach Bland's bringing in. You mentioned the loss the loss they just took to Cleveland State. But we know it gets serious once it gets to Swac time. So let them get, take their bumps and bruises or whatever you may say during non-conference play. But we need to be, we don't care about them losing to Cleveland State. We care about them losing to Southern. We care about them losing to Pine Bluff, things like that. So let me ask you, Caleb, in your conversation with Coach Bland, like you mentioned the versatility, recruiting multiple players that play multiple positions. What did he emphasize as the strength of his roster, currently set up?
I mean, one thing that has to be the strength is the pitching, right? Because we know in the game of baseball, in the game of softball, it's a game of ups and downs. You have your hidden slumps. Sometimes the ball is just not rolling your way, right, in the fielding. But one thing that'll save you, and I know this from being an Astros fan, if you got a good bullpen, if you got some dudes or some ladies in this case who can deliver for you, that's always going to be a strong suit for the team.
I definitely understand. Drew, what do you think?
That was a long 7 hours. I know you was here when we was doing all that. That was amazing for that. So just sitting down with, talking with Coach Bland, you also got to talk with the baseball coach as well. So I know with your love of baseball coming into that, how was just that feeling just to get to understand the aspects of what's behind the scenes that most people don't know when it comes to softball and baseball?
Man, it was a good experience, just like you said. I mean, because it's not all the time that you get to sit down with a college coach and talk about the intricacies of the sport, right? So we got to talk about, the gritty details of baseball. So when he talked about, he wants to have some depth to his roster, because we all know it's the 9 guys on the field, but sometimes you're going to need a pitch hitter. You're going to need a designated hitter. So you're always going to need depth on your roster to have a good season.
So we'll be able to see you out there on the softball field.
Man.
Just going out there, you feel
Look,
me?
let me tell you, because I had the opportunity to visit the field on Wednesday, and just seeing the players get ready for the game, it was a good feeling, you know, because being a former athlete, one thing that I can say is that although practice can be a little mundane sometimes, it can be a little boring.
Game day is it.
Game day is it. And when the season is right around the corner, it's no better feeling, you know, because I know, Josh, you played football, and it's no better feeling than when you put those pads on for the first time. When
Monday
you hit
through
somebody
Wednesday.
for the first time,
Ooh.
right?
Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. Ooh, Saturday. Ooh.
Yeah. So getting able to go to the softball field, go to the baseball field, it was just good seeing the players get ready for the season to begin.
How confident are you for the both baseball and softball this season with the teams?
I'm pretty confident because last year the softball team finished second in the Swac West. Same thing for the baseball team. So we do know that they have they're going in the right direction. And then with Coach Bland specifically with the softball team, he talked about how got a lot of young players on the team last year, right? They didn't know what they were doing. They had to adjust to the speed of the game because, you know, just like in any other sport, high school, it's a different animal from college, right?
Right.
The ball is coming a lot faster at you. You know, you got to react quicker. Baseball is a reactionary sport, so on a scale of 1 to 10 for both teams, I would say I'm at about a good 8 with my confidence in that Coach Riggins and Coach Bland, with their respective sports, will do a good job this season.
This is my last question before we throw it to your video. Like you mentioned, Caleb, talking about a second place finish in the Swac West this year, bringing in a strong recruiting class, having that good bullpen, like you mentioned, as the resident baseball expertise. You feel what I'm saying? Is it fair to say that we should have expectation of either the softball team or the baseball team making a College World Series appearance?
Let me say this. When I talked to Coach Bland and I asked him that very same question about the softball team, he said that of course the SWAC championship would be the goal, as it would be for any team. But one thing that he did say was that I want to make sure I get to that tournament, right? The big dance that everybody talks about, that NCAA tournament. So I do have faith that Coach Bland and Coach Riggins, they want to push their players. They want to see them reach the highest heights when it comes to baseball and softball.
Okay, throw the video.
Do we have a video?
No. Okay. Thank you, Caleb. That'll be all for today's episode of Panther Sports Zone. Make sure you tune into us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 p.m. Once again, I'm Josh Crawford.
And I'm Drew Brewer.
We're signing out.